month, and parents are skipping meals so kids don't have to. This is the reality for many hardworking families across Canada. But over in Liberal land, the Prime Minister's well-connected buddies at McKinsey are cashing their $119 million contracts while popping champagne on their yachts. Will the Prime Minister stop wasting money on his wealthy friends and get out of the way so we can fix this scandal-plagued government?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House.
Madam Speaker, for the first part, it's been 7 years, not 8 years, and I know the Conservatives have a great difficulty with math, but talking about other errors in arithmetic, the reality for the Conservatives is they did not talk about those that were dealing with poverty. They did not talk about the most vulnerable when they had an opportunity, when they had power. It was this government that set targets on poverty, that actually has hit them and exceeded them every single year. It is this government that has reduced the levels of poverty in this country such that over 2 million people less are in poverty now than when they were in power. That means over 800,000 children less now in poverty than when they were in power. Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Leeds Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
After 8 years of this Liberal Prime Minister, Canadians have never had it so bad, and Liberal insiders have never had it so good. Take the Liberal Trade Minister as an example. She gave tens of thousands of dollars in contracts to her bestie while Canadians were lined up at food banks. She was at committee today and wouldn't answer the question when I asked her if she would do the right thing and make restitution and pay Canadians back those ill-gotten gains. So here's another chance. Will the minister repay Canadians the tens of thousands of dollars she gave to her friend?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House.
Well, Madam Speaker, of course, the minister in question has taken responsibility and has apologized. But, Madam Speaker, I have great difficulty when the member opposite says Canadians have never had it worse. The reality is we are in incredibly difficult times. We've lived through a global pandemic. There's a war going on in Ukraine. We're dealing with global inflation. But the idea that this is the worst time that Canadians have ever faced is offensive. Is he saying that these times are worse than world wars? Is he saying this time is worse than the Great Depression? Madam Speaker, Canadians are resilient. They have risen in every moment. And when
Order! Order! The Honourable Leader of the Government for a few seconds.
Madam Speaker, these are the hardest times the world has gone through since the Second World War. And they can laugh about that, but the reality is in every corner of this planet, people are facing the most difficult and challenging times that have confronted humanity in a generation. And the reality is that Canada is leading in that environment.
L'Honourable Député de Pontiac.
The Honourable Member for Pontiac. Madam Speaker, over the last year, we've seen a resurgence in the tourism sector. So the question I have...
L'Honourable Député, oui, the Honourable Member was rising on a point of order? No.
You missed this question.
No, I did not miss the question. I did it because the disruption is getting really unruly. It is very difficult to control the House and have a proper exchange of questions and answers when members can't hear each other. I didn't hear the noise. Now there's noise on both sides, yes. Pardon? Pardon, what did the Honourable Member ask?
Both sides of the House. Does the member whose party is responsible for the disorder now lose her question? If that's why the Speaker has said that I've lost my.
There's disorder on both sides right now, or there was.
The question after.
Back to the Honourable Member right after this member asks her question.
Merci, Madame la.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Listen, over the past year, we have seen a resurgence in the tourism sector. We have businesses and travellers who are resurging. I would like to ask the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Tourism and Associate Minister for Finance to provide an update on the status of this vital economic sector. and in rural communities.